Welcome back to Charging Stack, where we talk to the people building the next layer of mobility. Today, we're joined by Sofia Haby, CEO of EVX Mobility. EVX designs electric utility vehicles built specifically for hotels and resorts with a modular lineup that covers passenger, transport, cargo, and on site operations. Sofia, great to have you here today with us on Charging Stack.
Thank
Well,
you so much for having me. Nice to be here.
Absolutely. I'm really excited about today. There's a lot of topic to cover, and yeah, it's a very interesting product, and yeah, we were very
let's
excited to
let's
to have you on.
let's maybe kick off with some basic questions. Uh, so EVX has been here for quite some time, and my question would be, what pushed you to start it in the first place? So, what kind of problem did you notice that needs solving?
We saw the problem that we were meeting with hotels and resorts on islands mainly, and the weather conditions make it harsh. Actually, the quality for the vehicles that they had were really low, so there were actually hundreds and hundreds of vehicles just standing there not working, corrosion, batteries not working, and so on. So that was kind of the starting point for EVX, and to develop something that both on an environmentally state was good, and also that you should have really high uptime, because these hotels and resorts are so vulnerable. If their vehicle is not working, they have a huge problem. So that was kind of the starting point.
So, why focus on hotels and resorts instead of maybe building a general purpose vehicle?
Yeah. We saw that they had a great need. And also, since most hotels and resorts are in very sunny areas, we thought that we should build a vehicle that actually could be more or less off grid with great, really large solar panels on the roof. So that was kind of where we started off. And we can also see that we have the potential of selling to these hotels and resorts are great. They are in need of a lot of vehicles. So that was kind of the starting point.
Yeah, it seems the way you describe it, like the perfect solution maybe for Croatia, since we have like 1,000 of islands.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, the salt in the air and the salt generally is a big problem for vehicles on every island, basically.
yeah,
And just one more subsequent question would be, since these are very specific vehicles in hotels and resorts, they they don't do the same job as maybe a light utility vehicle in a city center. So what's uh what did you learn early doing this? How are these vehicles used day to day? How does
yeah,
it look?
yeah.
The vehicle?
Actually, actually, the vehicle, if it was from the beginning made for that kind of environment, hotels and resorts, we actually discovered during the process that it's the demand for the vehicle is much greater than that. So nowadays we are at both hotel and resorts, we are at zoos and aquariums, and at amusement parks. But also the vehicles for, like, will be also for city centers, for industries that need to move people, management teams that going around on the plant, for example. That is something that we already have today in an enclosed area. So it's so versatile, the vehicle, and that the platform, and we will probably go into the platform even more later on here today, but that we can build almost anything on top of a really, really great platform.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
let's talk about the platform then, the lineup and everything. Marin, could you maybe guide us through this?
Yeah,
yeah. The platform, maybe before platform, I just figured out a interesting question to ask you. What has been your experience as a CEO selling this type of a new mobility stuff in the industry that is changing, but of course, it is a bit traditional still. What's your experience currently working with those type of
People.
execs, yeah, people, just the industry in general? How is it breeding?
Would say that I've been in a lot of industries, and all industries says that, well, yeah, this is so special. This is so special. You have to know all and everything. And I'm more of a generalist, and I do think that that is for this business as well. That it's the same, I mean, for the sales side. If you have to somewhat create your own demand. If you are new, going into a new segment or a new market, you actually have to tell your customers what can they do. And what we work with a lot is like to work in our minds. We work not with our direct customers, but with the customer's customer. So if we can tell our customers, them who buy from us, what they can do with their vehicle to solve the problems for their customers, then we actually have succeeded. So that is what we work with a lot. And for example, I mean, for SUS, we talked about the solar panels. For example, we have it in the US now, and it's more or less off grid. They can run all day with the solar panel. They might charge a little bit during lunch, but then it's just off grid, and they don't have to do anything. Since the platform is also everything is really thorough built, it has been really easy to actually put it on the US market, where we actually maybe have a little bit more weight on the vehicle sometimes, but it's not a problem because we have built it to be really long lasting. The chassis should hold for like 30 years. And what I really love with our vehicle, and that is also a selling point today with a kind of the environmental part of everything, is that the vehicle is circular. So we have made all and every component possible to change in an easy way. So when that kind of top over the chassis, when that warms out the seats and so on, it's really easy to just change them. So we don't have to. So it's a recurring model where you actually can just do a facelift of the vehicle, and then it looks like brand new again. And that has also been really, really important for us to have it like that, because
Hmm.
when you actually dispose the vehicle, that is the really harsh environmental cost for the planet. So we don't want to do that. We want it to be able to run and run and run and run. And our customers really love that.
Well, yeah, this. Yeah, this was amazing. This was what I wanted to hear. Yeah, very good pitch of the company. But the thing you said I really like about the circular part, about the redesigning, how potentially how everything is so modular. You can have so many redesigns aesthetically, just like an outside, let's say, headlight. Some
Oh, Marin, your connection broke a bit, it seems.
am I breaking? Is my connection off?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Just rewind maybe 15 seconds back.
I just wanted to say how interesting it is that the whole design is so adaptable to changes. So you can have a same platform, but long term, it's gonna stay up to time. The next question that I want to ask is, okay, regarding the platform itself. So we do have two main things: the utility and the train. Can you kind of walk us through the main models and which what each one is built for?
Yeah. Yeah. We'll absolutely do that. I mean, if we look at the train, that is what we sell the most at the moment. The train is out of it's two parts. It's the towing unit and it's the trailer. And actually also the towing unit and the trailer are the same platform. Of course, some differences since the towing unit have all and everything, steering, battery, and so on. But the main parts are actually the same, and that's really good for holding production costs down and stock keeping and all of that. It's modular, so we just bring whatever we want to have on it. We have what we have today with like a train with seating. We have the train with tables, so you actually can have like drinks and food on it. And what we really love, I mean, because we could be just happy with now the train is done and ready. We don't do anything. We make money of it. But as a company, we really want to keep on doing new stuff with it. And that is so amazing with the team also that I mean, we had a customer asking, they are doing tours with companies and they really wanted a really nice table and they also wanted rain curtains and so on. And this is what I love with like a customer coming to us with a problem and we can solve it so that we actually customize the vehicle. And we don't want to stop actually customizing. Of course, that takes a lot of time. It's quite expensive sometimes, but that makes us tick as a company, I would say, to solve customer problems. So then we have the train with some differences, and then we have the utility vehicle. And the driver's seat and all and everything is the same on those two, the towing unit and the utility vehicle. But on the utility vehicle, we can also have all and everything behind the driver's seat and everything. So if you would like to carry food, then we can have both the heated one and a place for cold beverage or whatever. We have something that is quite unique for people that actually work with like putting stuff up to the utility vehicle, because it's really I'm not sure of the English word, but it's very low. And that is something that when we have been, I was at the big IAPA happening in Orlando, for example, and then we had the utility vehicle there. And all customers that were there were amazed by not have to lift stuff very high up. So that is one really good thing about the utility vehicle, that it's very low.
Very interesting, very interesting. And as we said, can we talk little bit more about the materials? So is it modular because the materials are so light? So what is the kind of base made from? Is it mixture of carbon, of plastic, of
Yeah. The material are, I mean, the chassis is warm galvanized chassis, and that is kind of, I would say, the heart of the vehicle, because it's so long lasting. It's really thorough made, and we have also like the structure is so well built that we actually, if we move a little bit more weight on the vehicle, it will stand for that as well. So we don't have to, if we do some small changes, put more weight on, that will be sufficient anyhow. On the top, we have, of course, some plastics. We try to work towards doing all of our components as green as possible. So we're now looking into purchasing the best plastics that we can find in the market. And for other components, we try to not invent the wheel again, so to speak, that we actually reuse stuff from smart other vehicles, standard components, and that makes the vehicle less expensive for the customers in the end, instead of us doing all things that are really actually done before.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, yeah, plastic. Okay, we can look at the plastic as something bad, but okay, plastic has a huge amount of advantages when it comes to, especially electric vehicles, being so lightweight and also so flexible, and it's also great when impact happens. But when we talk about vehicles, especially when we divide them, so which one sees the biggest demand? Is it the train? Is it the utility one? And what kind of people are
Yeah. I
purchasing
would
them?
say, of course, that the train is, um, people are like super happy with the train. We have, yeah, our customers tell us that this is the best that they have had actually. And because of also, even in Sweden, that is kind of amazing. A normal summer in Sweden, I mean, it differs a lot between rain and sun. But actually, even in Sweden, the solar panels are, we're getting like 30% of the total electricity from the solar panels, even in Sweden.
That's
So
good.
that so very appreciated from the customers. Then I would say that what they like is that the cushions are really nice to sit at. The suspension is it's really really so that you can be one person in it and it's comfortable, but you can also be 10 people in it, and even going over bumps, it's still soft. It doesn't like fall down. So and that has been with our CTO from the beginning, to think like that. It should be able to carry a lot of weight or very little weight and still be comfortable. Uh,
Hmm.
Another thing that we have, and is that, well, you can track all and everything that is happening with the vehicle in our software. So it's really easy with maintenance. It will pop up there. We can also track it, and we can call the customers. We have a solution for what happened to everyone during Corona, for example, when all the batteries actually went dead. Because of that, people didn't think about charging them. We will get an alarm, and we will call the customers, telling them that, well, yeah, now you have to charge them. So the battery is really, really good quality as well, and that is something that we're so proud of. We're now working with a company called NC Powers. That is one of the state of the art battery manufacturer in Europe, actually. And it's going to be so very good for us to actually not have to go to China, have
Hmm.
lead time. It's a disaster if it's getting late, because of course we're a quite small company, so it's really important for us to actually get deliveries on time, to not have like a huge stock just lying there. So we have, and that is something that I would like to address. We have got so much support from all of the companies that we work with. We're small. We have to have short lead times. They have been great, and I do think that that is might be that where we also differentiate a little bit. We work with the customer's customer, and we also try to make the companies that deliver components to us to also understand what is the end customer for the components, and make them think that this is interesting as well, because then they are calling me saying, well, now I have this, Sophia, I do think that that will be even better for your vehicle. And that is, so I really love to work with people on that, because then you actually enhance everything together. You don't have to do all it by yourself, but you get help from all the people and all the companies that you work with.
I'm just one of the final thought for me on that section. Just okay, you said 30%. of the range can come from the solars in Stockholm, in Sweden, for example. But what I'm thinking, okay, 30% in Sweden, how much is in Orlando, in in all those perfect, yeah, very good numbers.
Yeah,
Yes, and
yeah,
now
it's
I'm thinking about Croatia, because we have an island, Hvar, that's the I think the sunniest island in Europe. I think it
oh,
gets the most sun hours per day in Europe, maybe around 19 hours per day, which is incredible. Just imagine having a vehicle there.
perfect, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that would be
Maybe
match.
this is maybe this is a good opportunity for you to think about Croatia as the next market.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You
Yeah,
have some, and we have a ton of it.
that's great. And
And
and of course, I mean, it's rare, and that is something that we actually have to educate our customers concerning, that they actually really don't, since solar panels for vehicles, they're often quite small, and the vehicles are often quite fast, and then they use a lot of the electricity very fast. So we really have to tell them, and we can showcase that this is actually what you get. You are more or less off grid in a sunny environment, because they don't know that. They can't really see that, because you don't have solar panels on regular EVs
yeah,
before.
it's kind of hard to imagine that just having a solar roof can give you
Yeah,
give you
yeah,
extra range.
yeah.
I'd like to talk about solar a bit now that we've touched the topic. Uh, I mean, where does the solar make the biggest difference? I think we can both agree in sunny area. But this could change in the future, and I'd like to ask you, what are your future plans for solar on your vehicles? Is there something scheduled to change or upgrade, or is this setup that you have currently really doing such a great job?
I would say that the current setup is great and does absolutely what it should. We will, of course, follow the business. I mean, solar panels are actually evolving so fast. And of course, then it's the small things that are interested. As I said, we like to work with people. So I actually had one potential customer that we have for actually a cooperation in Africa. Actually, we're not sure if it's going to be something yet, but what I got from him was, well, yeah, you should look actually on the inside of the roof, because the reflections are more important. One have learned that the reflections for the sun is really, really important. So you can get those extra 5%, 10%. So that is things that I wasn't aware of. We have really great panels, but then I learned that, so that we will look into, of course, to have it like that. So, I mean, that is the really upside with working with the vehicle that is modular, that it's not a problem for us to change those small things, and that make it really, really joyful. We just change it.
Yeah, I mean that's the most amazing part about having a modular vehicle. I mean, especially now when you mention it, I mean, yeah, with solar, it's all about those corners, about how the light reflects, and besides that, maybe better panels, bigger panels, new roof, everything can be changed, and that's why we love modular
Yeah,
vehicles here. Uh,
absolutely.
and what does solar actually change the most? Is it fewer charging stops? Is it lower infrastructure needs? Like you would
Yeah, I
need
mean,
one less charger on the site, or how does it affect a hotel or a amusement park or some of your customers?
I would say that the really great thing about it is that they actually need to buy less vehicles. Because of that, they don't have to stop charging during the shift. That is kind of, and that is also on the kind of planet, we need to reduce. That is so good because, of course, I want to sell a lot of vehicles, but I really love that they actually work all day. You don't have to have them standing still charging. So that is kind of what our customers, because that is also a little bit tricky, and then they should go into depot and so on and so on. So that is what they like, that they can just go and drive and drive and drive.
Did you maybe see any situations, any sorry, any scenarios where solar simply doesn't make sense? I mean, even if it works in Stockholm, I'm having it hard time to imagine where it wouldn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, I mean, in the inner part of north of Sweden in the wintertime, that would be, it's not that much sun. But I would say that how we have made the vehicle, as of today, you can't buy the vehicles without the solar panels because they are integrated part of the roof. And I really like that because, I mean, otherwise people will go like, yeah, should I have solar panels? Should I not? And for us, with the starting point that we discussed before, for us it's really important that this also have an impact on the planet, that we actually reduce the impact. We are making vehicles, so of course it has an impact, but we want to make that as low as possible. So it's not possible to buy them without panels, because we want to utilize whatever sun there is to charge the batteries.
Yes, I love that the solar panels are both the design choice and the functionality choice because first of all, it looks so great. They look so
Yeah,
and when you see them on a roof of such a vehicle, it's like, ooh, this looks really nice, looks really
yeah,
model, really sleek. But when you figure out, wow, it really adds 30% more range for free.
yeah, yeah, because it's for free.
It's a
Absolutely.
no-brainer,
No,
really.
no. And I mean, still there is some countries that actually also, I mean, for the electricity, we can think that that is clean, but that is not always like that. It comes from different sources, of course. So that I like that we contribute with like solar electricity. But then again, I do think that since our customers are buying our vehicle because of its uniqueness, I do think that they would like us to follow the trends on solar panels, to be in the forefront of what's possible, so that we will of course do. It will change, it will be more efficient, it will happen a lot of things there. They will be thinner again. They are quite thin at the moment. We are doing sandwich panels with the solar panels. We're looking into that. So I do think that, I mean, within 5-10 years, perhaps they're possible to integrate them even in more parts of the vehicle. Could be, would be really interesting. I mean, we have, since it's quite open vehicle, what do you know, could be actually that you have solar panels on floors. It's not existing today, but we will follow the trends that will occur.
Yeah, that now that you mention it, it's an open vehicle, so
Yeah,
why not? Why not? And
yeah, exactly. Why not? Today they are too fragile, but they're getting there, I would say. So yeah.
It's also, I think, the solar panels. People remember in the whole auto industry. They remember when the first Toyota Prius came out with the first solar roof. It was okay, very inefficient. It was early technology. I don't know. I think it could power the radio and maybe the AC.
Yeah, yeah.
But in the meantime, okay, the 15 years have passed. The technology has developed tremendously. And today, the solar panels on the vehicle actually make sense. And they can do a substantial difference when it comes to range and the whole efficiency. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And as I said, the whole technology with solar panels, they're becoming denser, they're becoming more thinner, they're becoming more efficient. So I think we're just gonna see improvement, and the sun is the source of energy that's going nowhere. So
Yeah.
definitely a long term strategy that you chose that definitely going to pay off for you and your customers.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the assembly itself, how the products are being shipped from your end. So you ship the vehicle to the flat packages, and then you assemble them locally with your partners, right? Why do you choose such a model, and how does it work in the practice?
Yeah. We what's important here is that we actually choose that model from the first day that we start working with designing the vehicle. So, for example, the chassis, it's made of three parts, you can say. The main part, and we have two extensions. And that is to get the main chassis into a standard container. So that is how it's made, and it's great actually. Um, for vehicles not doing that from the beginning, it's really hard because we have always wanted to have it as circular as possible, but also with less impact on when it's going on containers and so on. So we can stuff a lot into a container, and that was kind of the original thought behind it. But we can also see that it's really important for our customers that, of course, they can buy one-on-one, and we can assemble. We assemble in Sweden as well. We often do that for the first vehicles. But then it's really good that they can do it themselves locally, because that also adds the labor part. And a lot of countries are really interested in us actually helping them to do more stuff locally. So that is something that is a really upside for the countries or the places where we actually deliver to. And it's really easy to assemble, and it's pretty fast. So that has been with us from the beginning as well, that it should be possible to actually assemble without having top engineers or not. We don't have to have, and that I think is truly amazing. We need like one table that goes up and down. That's it. So for setting up production, I often talk to people about that, and they're like, yeah, we can help you set up a really nice production site. And I'm like, yeah, easy done. I will do that in 15 minutes. Because of that, we have to have the components, of course. And of course, if we are doing thousands and thousands in one plant in the end, then of course it makes sense to have robots and so on. But we don't need that. It's super easy to assemble, and it goes fast. So we have an assemble time for like, we say 10 hours. I don't think that we will have that as of yet, but 15 to 20, absolutely. And then the kind of the labor cost on the bill of material is not that much, so it doesn't matter if we have 10 or 20. It's pretty okay anyhow.
You know,
And the assembly is easy. That is
this
really important.
this reminds me so much of Lovely, also from Sweden,
Yeah.
from Håkan Lutz. We also had him here on the show, and he does basically, he uses the same approach. And when we asked about why ship it as a flat package, well, one of the topics we discussed here was cost. He says, let's imagine you ship 4 vehicles in a container. You can fit only 4, but I can fit 24 flat packages, which means I can save so much on shipping. And I mean, that's
Mm.
shipping is
Yeah.
extremely expensive, especially for already built vehicles. And yeah, the microfactory approach, also something we've seen in this industry as a trend. I mean, in the last, I think it's 3 months, every company we've talked to has chosen the microfactory approach because we build the core here and everyone else builds locally. And it seems that everyone's kind of figured out that this is the best approach. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
not for an Audi or a BMW or Mercedes, but this is something different. This is something much, much different. Like it's not a
Yeah, and then you can do the setup so
yeah,
easy. I mean, we have stages on that as well. As I said, the first vehicle might come fully assembled. The next 10 might be that we do a rolling chassis. We try everything with batteries and so out, and we test drive it in our facilities in Sweden, and then we take away the steering wheel again, and then we load them on top of each other. That is that, yeah, one part.
super
And
smart.
then we have full assembly where we just send all the components. So it's good that our customers can like try it out a little bit, start their factories, their micro factories a little bit slow, and that the learning curve is there, because that is of course really important.
Yeah, I think Sophia, I think you need like a time lapse video on your webpage or somewhere
Yeah,
how the vehicle is actually being assembled. I think I would like to see it.
yeah,
Definitely sounds very interesting, especially like as you said under under a day it can be assembled pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. When you look at the size of the vehicle, that looks like something that's complex. But then you also remember it's an EV, so it has less moving parts. But it's yeah, truly amazing. I would like to kind of just when we talk about okay, we kind of briefly mentioned before filming, you have some kind of a maintenance circular a model. So can you kind of briefly touch what can your customers expect when they buy a vehicle? What kind of relations do they have with you after buying?
Say that what our customers are buying is the circle part, the solar panels, and uptime. That is kind of what they would like to have. And I've been working a lot with like making factories run smoother before and so on. So for me, it's really to focus on that their vehicle is just running. Um, we have a system where we can see all and follow predictive maintenance so that we don't have to do the maintenance in the middle of the day. We can see now we have to look at this. We have like hundreds of parameters in the system that we can follow and that we follow. And part of that the customers see, but they don't have to go into all of these details. We do that for them. And then we have really on the Swedish market, we do it ourselves. Might be a little bit more expensive to do it ourselves, but we learn a lot from that experience that we can bring to where we work with other people abroad. So for us, it's really important that the maintenance part is there as well. And that is kind of, for example, in the US, we work with a company both on sales and also manufacturing called Chance Rides, who is one of the largest companies within the industry for amusement parks and zoos. And they have the exact same thought as we have. So we will only work with companies that actually really look to having a long relationship with the customers, because we can of course sell one-offs and customers could be unhappy and we could just like, well, we
hmm
don't work like that. So for us, the maintenance and that we have good channels, good companies that we work with on that, they should have uptime close to 100%. Predictive maintenance will be done when the vehicle is not used, and that is super important for us. And it's since it's an EV, the maintenance part are really, I mean, very
Mm-hmm.
much than when having other type of like a combustion motor. So it's like, yeah, checking brakes, checking. So it's a lot of actually not doing a lot of
Mm-hmm.
maintenance. Check that, well, that is in order, that, yeah, that's okay. But that is also, a lot of that is made digitally. And
Mm-hmm.
that, of course, since we have to have, yeah, cost down for us to be able to deliver to the customers on a good price, then we have to keep our cost down. And we really, really do that by having so many parameters that we actually can monitor in our system. So that is kind of how we do it.
Now
So,
you mentioned
mm-hmm.
with so many parameters, what's actually helpful to the operators? But I mean, you have tracking of everything, error alerts, predictive maintenance, remote updates, and all else. But what's actually really useful for an operator, an amusement park, a hotel?
I would actually say that the part of the system, because we have an integrated system where our software both tracks all these parameters, but it's also a system that can tell them where has the vehicle been, how many kilometers. We will have stuff like, yeah, how much weight has the vehicle carried, so that they don't have to like count people. We can instead look at, yeah, it carried that and that much amount of kilos, and then we can see approximately how many people. So they are not using what we were just talking about, kind of that predictive maintenance and so on. Of course, some, if you're manager over maintenance, then you will be very interested, of course. But most customers don't care about that at all. And that is kind of the point as well, that they shouldn't have to bother. They look more into routes. We can see we have a great system for monitoring where the vehicles is. So you can see the vehicle on your map. So if it's an amusement park, they can see that it went like that up there, and then it went like that and down and so on. So they are more, so we're again into like, how can we help our customers work with their customers? So for us, it's really important that they can see that, well, oh, we should actually have more vehicles into that area at that point of time. Because of that, then the vehicle's full, and probably we will actually gain more money from our customers if they can move out of that area instead of standing in a line. Because, I mean, for example, now, and that is kind of so amazing when you work. I haven't worked with amusement park that much before in my career, but now I am a lot. So I mean, you get new things that you learn. And now we work a lot with actually, how will the amusement park use our vehicle to actually move people so that they don't have to stand in line. Because what I have learned now is that a customer standing waiting is not buying stuff in the park. So they want to move people from that side to that side. And that is also, of course, a great selling point for us, because we work a lot with not just selling a vehicle, but selling a service. So we're discussing with the customers. We do plans for them, and we do the maths there. If you buy one of our train, or if you buy two of our trains, how can that be an impact for how much money you can actually get from one customer? And of course, the customer satisfaction. If you have to stand waiting when you want to have a cup of coffee, that is a disaster. Then we just move them to another part of the park where it's actually all the coffee stands are not vacant with a lot of people there. So that is what we work with a lot.
So can we then say potentially that the North American market is kind of your target, and you're kind of looking for the future? Very interesting. And you were mentioning going to Orlando. Of course, that kind of an area has the whole Universal Disney parks, which are truly amazing and very, very good test bed, but also a lot of you can learn a lot. I feel like you can learn a lot how to apply your vehicles in those environments. So yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely wish you all the luck. I think definitely EVX can definitely scale in those environments.
Yeah.
Um, but
And
is there
I just say there that, well, I mean, for us, working with chance rides in that it's great because they already know all and everyone. So the name that you mentioned before, I mean, we are in contact with them and possibly having some things that we discuss. So I mean, it's it's super important to actually have the right friends, and we have that, and we're actually meeting together with Chance in Sweden in Tranås. So they're coming Monday to visit us. They have been here before, so we have a really close collaboration, and that is great. And they have these huge facilities in Wichita, Kansas, where we can have production, we can do a lot of stuff together, and they have the same view on the customers that it's really important with long time relationship, and they know everyone in the business. So that is a ticket that we wouldn't dreamt of it actually
wow,
before. Now we work together. So
wow,
that's
I must
amazing.
ask
Amazing.
one question, just my personal interest. Since you worked with both companies in Europe and North America, so
Yeah.
talking about hotels, resorts, and amusement parks, what are some of the main differences between your customers in America and Europe regarding their maybe approach to how they solve their problems, how they spot issues, and how quickly they respond, actually?
It's a good question. Um, I would say that the North American market is, they all know each other. All and everyone are like glued together. So to be able to set the vehicles in the right amusement parks and zoos is super important on the North American market. And we have already done that together with Chance. And that is, of course, amazing for us.
Yes.
Um, in the European market, I mean, we are working with a great company called Severn Lamb for Europe. They have their headquarters in the UK, and then they have the same relationship to the European large amusement parks as Chance have. Um, we started that cooperation a little bit later, so we have come a little bit further in the US, but we will have the same situation, I think, in Europe. And I do think that it's quite the same. What we have in Europe that we will look into even more is kind of the net zero cities program
Hmm.
for 2030. We have really narrow city centers. The streets are really, really narrow in a lot of cities in Europe, and there our vehicle would be like perfect. So that is something that we look into within the upcoming years, how we should do that. And so that is something that we will look into for Europe. Severn Lamb will also, we will work with them towards also Middle East, where they have a lot of connections. So we're actually traveling to one big event there in March, I think it is. together with them and presenting the vehicle there. And that will be, I do think, great for that market. If we're talking sun, that is also
Yeah.
something
Wow.
it's plenty of, and that they really want to work circular. They want to be there. And that is, it's fits like a glove for
Yeah.
us to in that market. So that is also something that we do. So I would say that Europe differs a little bit. I mean, for Sweden, for example, we have been in, I mean, it's easy on your home market to sell to. We have sold to a large industrial customer, for example. That is really interesting for us in the future. Maybe not where we see that we work the most today, but we see the market as like, if we have this inner circle of amusement parks, zoos, and hotel and resorts, then we have the next circle that is kind of industrial plants. And then we have the third circle of all and everything. And that is, of course, the kind of European, as we were talking about, net zero cities and so on. So we have, since we have such success now in the amusement parks, we are working there mostly at this point, but we then see that we have all possibilities of actually moving towards the outside.
Such a great business you've built. I must say, it's incredible to see how you're branching out. Now in North America, customers want one thing. In here, customers want something different. Here, something different, and you have everything. And it's so nice. And it's so nice. It seems like every time you mention a new client, it fits like a glove, but a different one. You know?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
that's, yeah,
it's pretty interesting. I'd love to see
yeah.
it in Croatia, I must say. I must say
Yeah, absolutely.
it
I would
it would
I
seem
would
like
love to go and present it in Croatia, of course. Yeah. Yeah, but that is kind of the thing with the modular part that actually, I mean, you can have all and everything. And I really like that you can, like when I came into the company, it was a white vehicle with gray seats and yeah. But now we have moved into, you can pick and choose your own colors. You can do this and that. So you can customize also on the kind of like personal note that that park wants
yeah.
red seats, blue seats, or whatever. And that it's possible to do all and everything on the outside of the vehicle. So now we have like, yeah, are able to have different colors and different whatever. And you can, I mean, if you're in amusement parks, it's really easy to shift the front part of the vehicle, so you can have an elephant trunk or whatever you would like to. And that is kind of where also Chance is really good at customize those things. So even for Europe, I do think that if we get an order for an elephant trunk, they will help us out with that, even for Europe.
Yeah,
Well,
I
we
see all those versions of the vehicle. You
Yeah.
should maybe have a collection of those on your website, like, all the
Yeah.
images of different vehicle integrations. That would be so cool. Just
We have a huge website project within EVX at the moment, since our website has been a little bit like, oh, we're a tech company, and we're like, we're so much more. Of course, the tech part of it is a huge part of our souls, because the modular platform is absolutely who we are. But on the customer side, we are so much more.
Well, we showed luck in scaling. I think definitely there's a very bright future ahead of EVX, and definitely very cool products to everybody who's listening to the podcast. We'll see them, and yeah, get to know how we are changing the way in how we approach amusement parks, hotels, resorts, etc. We kind of exhausted all the questions. The last section is quickfire round, as I introduced in the start. The first question for you, Sophia, is the most underrated trend in utility EVs, in your opinion?
Would say it's the all again the modular part,
Mm-hmm.
because that people want it as they would like to have it, not in a standard way, and to make that easy and accessible for all and everyone to actually have it their own way. That is definitely underestimated.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we definitely see has we have definitely seen how the EVX have utilized the modularity. One operational habit that improves uptime instantly.
Yeah, then I would absolutely, of course, say the predictive maintenance part where we can see all and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
makes total sense.
that, yeah.
Um, a use case you'd like to see EVX used for more often, maybe something.
Yeah, I mean, as I talked about the circles, of course, I will absolutely enjoy when we are in all of those circles, because we have something that is very unique on the part where we actually save some for the planet every time a customer chooses to go with an EVX vehicle. So of course, on that note, we can be really prosperous within, of course, the first inner circle. But I would love us to be broaden that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we're sure you're gonna be able to do it. One
And
upgrade or a
that, sorry, one thing on that is kind of like what we do for the customers. So since we have software that we put out on where you stand waiting, then I really love that it's connected the vehicle, so you can in real time see where the vehicle is and how. So it's coming at 2 o'clock, but you will know that it's coming to that and that.
Mhm.
Uh, because you can see where the vehicle is, and our software will tell you it will be here in 60 seconds or in 120 seconds. That is something that I do think that we want everything to be fast, and I want to know exactly when something is coming, and you can know that with our vehicle.
Mhm. Awesome. Yeah. And the last one is one upgrade or a feature you're most excited about that's gonna be coming next. Maybe something we haven't talked about yet.
I would say that, of course, when we can move even more people, we're looking into, of course, a second trailer that is going to be fantastic, but also all the possibilities with also the electric motors. They're getting better and better, stronger and stronger, but not using that much electricity, to perhaps get the solar panels even better. That is something that I really look forward on, like following that path.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. Also very, very interesting. This has been it. We've definitely exhausted all the questions. Thank you very much, Sophia, and thank you for to the whole EVX team for jumping on our show. Was definitely a great episode. Very interesting industry, very interesting approach, very interesting product. Yeah, Philip, if you have any last words for today, definitely had a
Yeah,
blast.
I mean, I have zero words left to say. I think we've covered everything. It's such a great vehicle, such a great business. How you have everything lined up and differentiated across several target customer profiles, and one's in North America, one's in Europe, one's maybe in Africa, and how you've gone after each one with a different approach, but one that ties everything in together. It's so well thought out, and yeah, I really have nothing left to say. Really, thank you for the entire team for providing us with this opportunity, and for everyone who's listened to us today. EVX is building electric electric utility vehicles for real world operations with modular designs, with solar options, with local assembly, and now growing experience in people movers and leisure mobility. So, people, everyone, this has been Charging Stack. Thank you for listening and see you next time.
Till next time. Thank you.
Thank you so much.